Loud. All right. Hello. Welcome to our class today. Go. I'm working with one computer screen at the moment, so bear with me here. My other one decided to retire. So, retired it shall be. Ah. All right, so let's get rolling today. So today I'm really excited for this class. So if you have, we're going to be talking about how to create a blog post. Now with this, I just want to preface that I'm going to do this the simplest version possible. I'm not going to get heavy into tagging or anything like that. I just want to help somebody who has never posted a blog post before get a blog post out. I already have one pre-written that I'm just going to copy and paste in to give you the idea, but that's what we're going to be covering today. So thank you for joining this class today. I'm really excited that you took the time. And for those of you watching on the replay, let us know below that you're watching on the replay so that we can see that you were there. And what we're going to cover today is we're going to go through creating the title, adding simple images, selecting your category and feature image, and then publishing your post, and probably a couple things in between. So like I said, it's gonna be very simplistic. So if you have any questions that are more in depth, you're welcome to ask them, but I may not go into them here. We'll just slowly build on that. Or if you're in NWU, we will definitely be covering some of those harder, more intricate, like keywordy type questions in there. A little bit about YFP if you're brand new. So your Freedom Project, or YFP for short, is a 360-degree ecosystem of tools and training that can help you find new builders, find new customers, and increase sales and retention. And YFP addresses the 3 specific areas that builders struggle with in Shaklee, which is not knowing where to go to find people to talk to, not knowing what to do with the people they find, and not having a formula or plan to stay on track and measure success. And YFP supports your growth in 3 main ways, and that is with tools, training, and support. So we're going to go live and review. We're just going to do this all straight from my share screen. We're going to go over how to create the post, the text, titles, all that good stuff. If you need to bold anything, we're going to go over all of that. So let me get to the right screen and we'll jump in. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so here we are, and I'll get my annotate so we can follow along. And before we do that, I just need to make sure I'm on the right page here as well. There we go. Get all the pages set up first, so then it's a little nicer. Okay, so from your dashboard, if you're creating a post, if you have the blog, if you don't have the blog, obviously it'll take you to where you can get the blog. Now I got to figure out where to put you guys, because one screen, man, once you've had multiple screens, going back to one is tough. So we all know what's on my Christmas list. Okay, so to do a blog, we're going to start at the actions button, and then under the create column here, we'll select blog post, and I've already got it open over here. So some of you may see a dashboard like this, others you might see it a little bit differently. That's okay, it's all the same difference. You should still have this nav bar on the left-hand side where you'll come to post, and then you'll go add new. Okay, so left nav, post, add new. And then let it do its thing, and you'll come to a nice blank page where it gives you the option to add your title and then type your stuff in. One thing I'm going to recommend is, if you don't already use OneNote, this is where OneNote is the best, like the absolute best. I typed out my entire blog post in my OneNote, then everything stays, I can have just all my blogs in one spot. I can do any of the typing here, and then it's just easier if, say, something goes wonky and something gets deleted, then you can just come back and repost it. So here is my title. Go ahead, Julianne.
Now, are you in OneNote right here on this page that you're showing us, Kristen?
Yes, this is okay. OneNote. Yeah.
Now, because it's been a long time since I got into OneNote, but how do you, I mean, you got all that typing. Where on the top do you, create all that typing?
What do you mean, like the text?
Yeah,
Like
all the text,
all
like,
this?
yeah, how do you do that?
You just create a new page. So new
Like,
page. And then,
okay.
or are you talking about my bookmarks up here?
No, I'm talking about, I don't, I was in there and all I found was, how to create those little boxes that we were doing,
Hmm.
columns or
It's still
whatever.
going to do a box. Like, see, it still
Oh,
gives me a little box.
oh,
That's always
okay.
going to be the case. But once you start, pardon my
Oh, and
type,
then you just
and then,
type.
yeah, and then you just type.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
So, all right, how do we find it again when we get in
Okay.
there?
So it'll depend on your notebook. And I'm not going to go into categorizing and all that stuff, but I have a special notebook that has just my blog stuff and I've already got it pre
Oh,
brought
you
up.
you okay. So we'll
Mhm,
have to learn how to do that.
mhm.
Okay, good. That's good. Thank you,
Okay,
Chris.
excellent. So first things first is the title. This is what I decided to do mine on today. By the way, you're welcome to use the same topic as me. I don't mind as long as you don't copy my blog post verbatim. I'm happy. So you put your title in. With a title, don't worry if it's long. The cool thing with blog posts is if you have the full question, like if we go by the they ask you answer, which is what I'm going with. I've had this question asked quite a bit, so I figured let's answer it. Use the full question because think about when you type into Google, what do you type in? You type in a full question. That's how people are looking for things. So if you have someone put in there and saying supplements making your pee expensive, or don't supplements just make your pee expensive, then the chances of them finding my blog are very high. Okay, so utilize the whole question. So let's put in the chat, what is a question? Oops, I muted myself. There we go. What's a question that you've asked in Google? And go ahead and put it in the chat. Or what's a question that you have been asked by a product or a client, by a product client or a builder or a potential prospect or someone that you've met at the trade show, anything like that. Go ahead and put that in the chat, and then I'm going to go and grab the rest of my blog post. Okay, so the nice thing with OneNote is once you've got it all typed out, you just got to copy the whole thing and find your block and just paste it in, just like that. Okay, and it'll automatically put it up in its right, it'll paragraph it out. Now, this is where all the, this is where you get to see all my spelling errors.
Proofing.
Yes, this is where you get to do the proofing, and I'm trying to figure out how I did it. But for proofing, by the way, I just use the free version of Grammarly. I find it works quite well. If you want to get the other one, then you can. And I think they go into more like grammar stuff. But the cool thing with tablet form vitamins, okay, that's fine. The cool thing with the basic with blogging now is you don't have to be super like polished in your writing. If things aren't completely grammarly correct, it's fine. As long as you got basic spelling stuff done, then you're good.
Kristen,
Yes.
when you are creating this document and you make a mistake, how easy is it to go back? Because if,
Very.
it
It's
is
very
easy.
easy. Yep.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
show you that in a second. I will leave this.
Okay.
I'll leave some of my text in there. So this is what I would call just a basic blog post. I'm not doing anything super exciting with it. You don't need to do anything exciting with it. If you wanted to add a photo in, you could. Wherever you'd want to do it, you would. So let's say I wanted to put one after flushing your money down the toilet, and then I could add like a photo of a toilet, keeping it relevant to the content. And that's where you use, so it says type/choose a block. So you get this plus button, and then you can choose an image. And then you would upload an image, or you can choose from whatever you have in your media library. And if you're wondering what you have in your media library, last week I went over where to find your media, what's in it. So go back to that class and it'll show you that, but you can upload a photo right from here. I'm just going to use a random photo. I'll use my feature image, and then you just upload and it gets put right in there automatically. And then to get rid of it, it's as simple as clicking on it, backspace, it's gone. Okay.
Kristen, how did you get that feature image?
How did I make it?
Yeah,
I did that in Canva.
thank you. Okay.
You're welcome. And I'll talk about that in just a second. Okay. I'm going to leave that spelling error there. Okay, so now you've got the basics. We're just doing a super basic blog post. You've got your title, you're answering a question, you've typed in your thoughts and opinions. Now down here at the bottom, I talk about the vitamin checklist because that's what I want to do. I gave them how they can do the water test with their multivitamin, but now I want to give them the vitamin checklist. So the idea with this blog post is I'm bringing people into my funnel or into my ecosystem. So I want to offer them something of value that they can use to help further their exploration. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to get to that, which is back in your dashboard. Oh my goodness, this is tough with all this stuff here. It's back in your dashboard and you go up here to the website quick view if you don't have your hub site bookmarked. If you have your hub site bookmarked, that's fine. But you want to go to your hub site. And then on your hub site, if you scroll down just a little bit, you will find the vitamin checklist. So then I would just click on that. Oh, right. Hold on a second. That didn't work out the way I wanted to, but that's okay. If that doesn't work, you can always come down to the wellness focused on the website quick view, view that. There it is. And you just want that link. Okay, so we're going to copy the vitamin checklist link, go back into our blog post, and I'm going to have two spots where they can click on it. So I'm going to highlight checklist, the vitamin checklist, and then you see this little link hickey-do right here, and this will show up for you once you're working on something. So it doesn't matter where you're working on it, it'll show up. You click on link, you paste in your URL. I have it where it opens in a new tab. And so what that means is when they open it, it's going to open up a brand new tab for the person rather than taking them off the blog. I want them to be able to come back to the blog easily. Okay, and then you just click to the side. Oh, it didn't do it. Let's try it again. Do that, link, Control V, open in a new tab, and then submit. So you hit the little arrow guy back here, submit, and now my vitamin checklist is highlighted in blue, and that is a link that will take them to the vitamin checklist. I'm also going to put it in the here part because I already said it was going to be here. That way it just gives people another option, and submit. Okay, so we've got a link. We're using this as a lead capture in a sense, while also giving great information. So I'll make sure I'm not where you weren't supposed to see that. Okay, so that's great. So now what happens down this side panel here? This is where the fun part comes in. There's going to be preset categories. So this one obviously will go in healthy nutrition. And that's probably about where I would do it. It's just under healthy nutrition. And then the only other thing I would do would be adding my feature image. And that'll be down towards the bottom. Now, there's a couple ways to do a feature image. One, you can do it in Canva. You'll have to figure out what the dimensions are so that it doesn't look wonky. Or you can also use the VA service and they will make you a feature image because they have everything templated out and they just do nice, it's very basic, just text on a colored background. So how mine looks will be similar to how they have theirs set up. Now, my feature image is already in here, but if it wasn't, so you have your media library will be first. If it wasn't, then you would go to upload files, select your file if you have it downloaded, and then mine's the blog feature image, open, and then set. Okay, Now it'll look funny down here for a few minutes. That's just the way it goes. I don't know why it does that, but when it shows up on the page, it's exactly how you want it to be. Okay. So now you've got the basics, and that's really all you need to put out a blog post is your text. If you want to link in one of your lead capture pages, categorizing it, and then a feature image. When it comes to tagging, we'll cover that another day. I think this is more important than getting, or not tagging, keywords, I guess tagging. But you could use tags like food supplements, vitamins, that type of thing. Those are ones that I've used in the past and they work great. And then once you've got it, you just go up to your publish button at the top, click publish. It's going to confirm that you want it to be published. And there it is. Now what's cool here is you have, it's going to create its own URL based off of your title. So whatever you put in your title, so mine says don't supplements just make your pee expensive. Look at that. Don't supplements just, and if I keep going, make your pee expensive. So that is easier for tagging and categorizing, and it'll automatically do that. You don't have to do that part. I don't know. You're gonna have to go ask someone else.
I was gonna actually, I typed it in the chat, but I just came on mute to ask you, did you mention what the featured image
I didn't.
dimensions are? And I don't know if that's important at this time, but it's something I struggle with some.
That's something, actually, I think I'll put in the business chat. Because I can't remember that off the top of my head. And then I have to go and figure out how to find it on my Canva.
Nor can I. I mean, it's one of those things that anytime I need to know, I'll ask an elf, and that's not a problem. But sometimes it's just when you're creating something. I think if you create something in Canva, it's probably a good idea to create it as a template once you know, and then you can always use the same dimensions.
Yeah. And how the tagging actually doesn't show up. So let's just say I wanted to come in and update it, which is really simple. So once you've posted it, so this is Julianne, if you've noticed like, oh my gosh, I misspelled something. You don't actually navigate from this page. You can just click back down here somewhere to bring up your side panel and do any of your edits. So let's say I'm gonna add this tag and this tag. And then I have my spelling error right here because it's supposed to say do and not so. And then just make sure you hit update. And then it'll update it and you're good to go. So then when you preview it, and yes, I want to preview it in a new tab. Thank you very much. There, that's what my post looks like now. Okay, so you'll get to preview it. You can see all of the good stuff. And this is also where you can make sure that your link is working. So you have your vitamin checklist. Is my link working? Yes, my link is working and everything's tickety-boo. So now you can take this post and start promoting it and sharing it on your social spaces. Okay, and that is the simplest version of creating a blog post. So out of everything that we covered there, because I don't think the tags showed up. No, the tags didn't show up there. Are there any questions about anything that I covered? You're welcome to unmute and I will stop screen share because I've got stuff all over the place.
I have a question not about what you talked about, but promotion.
Mm-hmm.
How do you promote the blog? Where does it go besides, say, social media? Can you put it in an email?
Yeah, absolutely. You can put it in the email.
And do you find that people read it as readily as they do the newsletter?
It depends on if it's a topic that is of interest to them. I always put it there because it's an extra way just to get it out.
And how often do you post a blog?
I mean, the goal is once a week. I'm doing pretty good if I can get one good one out a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have found it beneficial?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I found that the answer, like asking, they ask, they answer is the best. Because the other thing to think about is if you're using questions, I think I mentioned this on Marketing Monday, if you're answering questions, especially what's a question you get asked all the time, you put it in a blog post. The next time someone asks that question, be like, hey, you know what? I've got a blog post about that. I'll send you the link. Then you don't have to continually type it out or verbalize it all the time. They can go and read it on the blog post. So think of it also as a resource center for you to make your life easier in the future. Okay. And then, yeah, for promoting, like sharing this post on your business page, in any of your other social spaces. Pinterest is actually, if I was to use Pinterest, I would use it for my blog because you can have links in there and it's nice and easy. And then, yeah, in your emails. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I hope that helps a little bit. And I know I went quick through this, but the thing to remember is that this will be instantly replayable in the YFP Facebook group. So if you want to go ahead and follow along with me as you're doing your post, beautiful thing about the replay is you can pause me as you get whatever you need to get done. And then you go back and do it. And what I'm doing, I haven't done it just yet, but I'm going to create a post in the Facebook group, the YFP Facebook group, saying, you know, if you do a blog, post your latest blog post here, and then post it in the comments. So then other people who are either starting a blog, they're not sure what to do, or they're looking at a blog, they can see how others are using the blog and hopefully give them some courage
So,
to do
Kristen,
it.
we have to design a URL, an address for the blog, correct?
Nope, it gets designed for you.
Oh.
So that's where I'll share that piece one more time. Hold on. So once you post it, if I go back to here, get out of there. So where it says your permalink and your slug, that's your, so right here, this is your URL for it. And it'll automatically happen once you've posted, it's going to create that URL and it'll do it just based off of the title you put in there. So that's too why I say use questions. What's something that somebody would type into Google and that's your title.
Mary, were you asking just about the blog site in general, or the individual blog posts? That's
Me, Mary?
I think that's who just asked this question of Kristen, right? I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah, well, my question is,
butting in.
does the URL, obviously she just said it, that it comes up automatically, but what if you wanted to put a URL on your business card, for instance, of the blog?
To a particular blog post or just to the blog in general?
The blog in general.
Okay, so for that, I would actually use a QR code. Get your blog URL. So if I go to, I'll start on my hub site. If I go to my hub site, and actually I'll just show you guys, my blog here is at the top. So right here, this is my blog URL. I would get that turned into a QR code and put that on the back of the card rather than a link. Because the cool thing with the QR code is someone can scan it, it'll take them right there rather than them having to type it in and then the chance of misspelling it and not landing on the right spot.
That's a great idea. Does YFP make QR codes?
No, we don't. But if you go to if you just type in Google QR code reader, or
okay.
QR code generator, sorry, you'll get a whole bunch of options. All of them work great. I haven't had any problems. And then you can download it and use it however you choose, even if you want to put a sticker on the back of your car.
What if we already have a blog URL with WordPress with a name that people are aware of? Can that be used for the YFP blog?
Can you repeat that one more time?
What if we already have a WordPress blog not related to Shackley?
Mm-hmm.
Can that be used as a interchange with the Shackley info?
You'd have to do it manually. It wouldn't be linked in the same way that this blog is linked into our website.
Can I interrupt again? I feel
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
I don't know exactly the process, but I know that Jody's talked to people about this before. when they came in after already having had an established blog that they liked. The blog is great because it doesn't have to be, about Shackley or about the business, or it's just about stuff that obviously if the topic of Shackley or maybe not Shackley so much, but wellness and supplements and things interest you, you could blog about that. You could add that to. But if you're a yoga teacher and you want to blog about yoga, or if you're a spiritual person, I don't think it's good business, but if you wanted to talk about politics, you could do whatever you want on your blog. And you could say whatever you want on your blog. The cool thing about the YFP blog is that it has those links in the side. It's all connected to your system. So if you find followers some other way, they could stop at your blog and read what you have to say and then say, hey, what's this? What's this vitamin checklist? What's this blah, blah, blah? And they can click on that. So, I would highly recommend you consider, it can be done, but it would be a lot of work, that you could transfer your content from, with the help of the L's, from your current existing WordPress blog over to a YFP version of it. So it's all tied into your, all your other assets. Again, I don't want to push too hard for that because maybe 7.0 is going to change some of that, but I think I know it has been done before, and I think that's what Jody might recommend. Does that sound right?
That sounds
Kristen?
accurate. Yep.
Thank you.
You bet. And also everyone's saying cool hat. You like your hat.
Oh, thanks. Gardening, little gardening outside, and I came in for, and I also wanted to say something else. What did she say? Canva now has, free Canva has a QR code generation. So you can create a design with a QR code in it. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, here's a good thing. Samantha was just in the Facebook chat. So let me just show this, because she has a blog that's outside of YFP. And how does she do it? So I lost my dashboard. Uh-oh. 1 second. But if you go to your hub site, so I'll just use this one, home, you can make an external, like another link. So like I have my podcast link up here, which obviously isn't attached to YFP and YFP doesn't host it. But there is a spot when you do your hub site edits, like if you go into the settings, you can add an external link that would be your blog, and that would take them to it. And it could be an external blog if you're already using one. I forgot about that, so thank you. But it is nicer when you can have, like, this is why I like the YFP blog. Like Maura said, it has all of your assets already around it. You don't have to worry about other things being there that wouldn't be tied to you. So there's that as well. And thank you, Samantha, for being on the case. And I'm glad I looked at that. So there's a lot of options. But the main thing is like, if you have a blog and you can transfer everything over to a YFP blog, I would personally do that. It might take a bit of time depending on how much content is there, but then you have all of your assets there. It's easy for people to click on them and you don't have to format it, which is the beautiful part. So I hope that helps a little bit. So with that, before we go into too many rabbit holes, because it'll be easy, easy to do. Again, that was just for a very basic blog post when you're creating one. So we didn't add anything crazy. I didn't do any embedding. It's just a text version blog post with a basic header image, and you've got it categorized. And then we have a blog workshop coming up on, let me get the date for you. So many tabs. Nope, content manager.
Thursday, isn't it?
It's going to be on a Tuesday.
Oh,
It'll be for a 101 coming up, and that'll be June 28th. So we're going to do a blog post workshop where that's what it's going to be. We're going to be going through. So if you have a topic idea already, start jotting it down, and then we can go through and refine it. We'll go through tagging, and that's what it's going to be. Okay. So then we can go through answering any of those other technical questions that come up, but that's what we're going to do. So with that, I think that's good before I melt anyone's brain, because we don't want to do that. That's not fun. Go ahead, Julian, if you had a question.
Yeah, when everybody goes, I got a question for you, please.
Okay, sounds good. We can do that. All right. So I'll share screen and we'll close this off. Man, I'm really missing that second screen today, but we'll make it. So if you're new to YFP and you're wondering how to get started, there's a couple ways to do that. So the first one is you can subscribe. If you already know, you're like, yes, I want to use this, you can subscribe. You can choose a plan that fits your marketing needs, select any add-ons that you need, and then make sure that you book an onboarding appointment. And you can check out pricing by going to yourfreedomproject.com/pricing. I'll talk about how to book an onboarding appointment here in just a minute. The next is you could take a test drive. So you can sign up for a fully functional 30-day trial, start trying the system, and then book a support appointment as well, which is also an onboarding appointment. And you can do that by going to yourfreedomproject.com/trial. Or if you just want a little bit of guidance on the system, you can visit our help center and request a guided tour where one of our expert guides will walk you through the system, show you how it works, and then you can decide from there. And then also invite you to join our YFP Facebook group for business builders. And you can get to all of that by going to yourfreedomproject.com/support. And in the help center, so if you are going to want to get a plan, or you've already done it, or you're going to be doing it and you want to book your support appointment, this is where you would do it, is in the help center. And I'll show you that in just a second. But if you do need to just get in touch with us, there's a few ways you can do it. You can give us a call here. This is also where you can join the Facebook group for business builders. If you're having any technical assistance and something's just not working properly, that's where you can submit a ticket. And please, if you're having anything like your email's not showing up, the webinar registration page isn't showing up for you, please submit a ticket. Otherwise, if it gets posted in the group or in the business chat, the elves, there's a good chance they won't see it because it's not addressed to them. Whereas in the help center, then we can track it. Someone can get back to you relatively quickly. You can also view your tickets here. So if you're having a correspondence or you want to see the progression of a ticket, you go to view tickets and you'll see all of your tickets. Click on the one you want to check in on. And you can also reply to the elves through that section. This here is where you would book an appointment for your onboarding or support appointment. So if you have signed up for a plan, or you've gotten a free trial, or you want to request a guided tour, you do that through our book an appointment. And then we can get you onboarded and in with somebody. And then if you just need to chat with somebody, you have a quick question, then you can use the chat with an elf. This will connect you to the elves Facebook Messenger. So you guys will be chatting through that. I am also on there if you need to touch base with me or ask me any questions, but that's how you do that. So to get to the help center, again, you go to yourfreedomproject.com/support. I think that's about it. So until next time, everybody, we'll see all of you on Thursday who are in NWU. And for those of you on Marketing Monday, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care, everybody.